Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Clinton, aka Phoenix. Today we're going to have a first look at the Jordan Why Not 0.4. Alright, so the Why Not 0.4, let's get right into it. We're going to start with the traction here. So the traction, you can see very similar setup to actually the Kyrie Low 2 and the Kyrie Low 3. Those guys use the exact same. It's a nub pattern. It is a slightly different pattern design, but realistically it is the same setup. So you can expect this to bite really well on indoor courts. It's going to give you a nice stop outdoor as well, but it's going to wear down really quick outside from the looks of things. Unless they've used a different rubber compound, but honestly, they don't build things to go outside. The only way you're getting anything built for outside right now is if you go to Nike and you customize and throw the Nike XCR rubber on the bottom of something on Nike ID. This stuff is going to work great indoors though, so got that to look forward to. When it comes to the cushioning setup, so they got a very similar setup to last year. In the heel, it's the exact same foam that they used last year. When you move up to the forefoot, still have a zoom unit up front, but now it's a double stacked zoom unit, so it's a lot bouncier, but it is also smaller. One thing I really like that they did with this cushioning though, you can see it here. This is the cutout of it. This is exactly the shape of the zoom unit. So if you think about coming in for a 2-foot jump, if you have proper form, you're coming in sideways, you're actually going to come in, you're going to land here, you're going to roll through your foot, and you're going to come up off there. So they've actually shaped this zoom unit to give you as much responsiveness as possible when you're jumping, which I really like that. I really like that out of a basketball shoe. Anything that helps me get a little bit higher, I want it. I want it. I want it. Overall, the cushioning setup is really nice. Just walking around in it for a little while, you can really feel this double stacked zoom unit. Extremely nice cushioning up front. It's a responsive cushioning as well, so that's great. Playing a lot in last year's model, I've got the Why Not 0.3 SE model here. It's honestly, it's the same setup. You're sitting in the same place. It's not the best for impact protection. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it is, but it's very nice. Works just as well as pretty much anything else out there. Comparable cushioning setup to it would actually be this guy here, the Kyrie 7. So very similar setup in the heel there for the foam. Then you've got a zoom unit up front. The Kyrie, they've got a Zoom Turbo unit, which is much larger. It does take up the whole foot, even curves up a little bit. So it is a little bit firmer, a little bit more responsive. This guy has a little bit more bounce to it, a little bit better cushioning. Oh, for the same price, you're not really going to notice a huge difference unless you're playing at an elite level. I kind of like the double stack zoom a little bit more, just a little bit more comfortable, and like I said, a little bit more bounce to get you up there. All right, so when we move up top, the fit this year is a lot smaller. Playing in the Why Not 3s, I almost felt like I could go down a size on them. There was so much dead space in the toe, and when I had to lace those guys up, honestly, this guy, it would come all the way in and it still felt like a little bit loose. This year they've completely gone the other direction. It's a really nice snug fit. Again, it fits almost identical to the Kyrie 7. So wide footers, you might not be too happy about that this year. I'm pretty happy about it though. It's gonna fit true to length and size, maybe even a little on the long side compared to some of Nike's other offerings. Jordan's usually fit a little bit longer. Again, the fit in here, much narrower, much better fit. When it comes to support, that obviously helps, but another thing that helps a lot is the lacing system that they've got here. So if you have a look here, this is lacing through here. So we've got this going down here anchored in, and then you've got this overlay here, which is actually stitched in here and here. So what that does, when you tighten this up, you're not just tightening up right across there, you're pulling the whole shoe in. So it's going to give you really good support, really nice fit, and it's just great. Another thing, They've got last year's model, they've got this little plastic clip here, but really when you pull this in, it pulls all the way along. What they've done this time instead is they've stitched these guys in. So again, it anchors it in a little more, and when you tighten it, you're not just pulling on this, you're pulling the whole side of the shoe. So it is going to give you a better fit. It's going to give you better support, but at the same time, it's going to reduce the chance of pressure points. So something that I said in the LeBron 18 video, these flag wires, they're just pulling right there. So it's really causes some huge pressure point problems. I really didn't like this shoe in part because of it. That's not really going to be an issue on this. Another thing that I really like about this shoe, it's a lot lighter than last year's model. Now I've got the SE here of last year's model, which is the playoff version of the shoe. What they do normally with the SE models is they take the why not and then they see where they can lose a bunch of weight. They've done that right off the bat in this model. If they come out with an SE model which has lost a lot of weight, I'm gonna have no idea where they took it from. This is as light as they can make it, and it's a huge improvement for me over last year's model. Again, the SE, which I had and I played in, it was a lot lighter than the normal Why Not 0.3. But yeah, the weight was noticeable when you held the two together, and now they've just given you the light model right off the bat. So all in all, it looks like it's going to be a really nice performer. It's got a really nice grip. Again, even here, they've decoupled this, which is great. A lot of people don't realize what this actually does. I think it's just for torsional support. It does help with that. But what it's going to help the most with is your gait cycle. If you don't know what that is, your gait cycle is how the foot reacts from the time your heel hits to the time you toe off. So in a lot of shoes, this is actually a great example of it. The N1 Attack 2.0. It's not decoupled here, it's really flat. When you hit here, it's just gonna slap on you. There's no real way to control that. Your foot's gonna help a bit, but the materials of this shoe, when this comes down, it just wants to follow. When this is decoupled, you can hit here, and this allows separate movement. So it gives a much smoother gait cycle, heel to toe. You'll notice that in a lot of high-end running shoes from like Asics, Saucony. They put that in there. Jordan Brand's been doing it for a while. That's really what the Eclipse plate is in the 34s, the 35s. It's just an amped up version of this. So along with the gait cycle improvement, it also really helps with transfer of power. So when you go up, you try to make your explosive jumps, grab your rebound dunks, whatever it might be. If you bend the shoe and it's bending all the way through, you're just losing power. So that stiffens it up and it really helps you get that energy down into the floor and bounce you up. So it is a feature that I wish was on a lot more shoes. It's just not anymore. But it's just one more thing that makes me really excited to want to play in these. Real nice traction. They've improved the cushioning. They've improved the bounce. They've improved the fit. All round, unless you have a really wide foot, you're going to find this to be a better shoe than last year's model. And all in all, for 170 Canadian, it's one of the better shoes at the price point that's come out so far. I have both. I've played a lot in the Kyrie 7s and I really like them. Ultimately, I won't be surprised if when I get these on court that I end up liking them even more. Hey guys, thanks again for checking out the channel. If you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit up Instagram at phoenix.review to see what's coming next on there. But most of all, leave a comment. I really want your feedback, want to see what I can learn from this, and also if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to go over and answer them. Again, thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time. Peace.